Well, hello everybody. I was not intending on going live today, except maybe to do the peacock, but I haven't felt like doing the peacock. But I was filming some content for just kind of some 6 exercises that only use 2 colors and 1 brush to basically get your inspiration going so that you don't have to stare at a blank white page. And the last one, when I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun, like a party on my paper. And I was like, you know what? I think we need to do that one. So I decided, just as I was finishing, that I was going to hop on here and show you how to do this one, because it's, I don't know, it just looked so fun to me. So that's what we're doing. So this literally uses 2 colors, a yellow / orangish color and a blue. And that's it. And we can do some more to it. And as you know, because I am always adding more to stuff, I will likely add more to it. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and tape down my paper here for you to be able to see. And we'll just go from there. Literally all it was some splatters and a clean brush, just making some squiggles through it. So that's all I'm doing. And it ended up looking like, I don't know, some sort of birthday confetti or something. And I just got excited about it and was like, I'm getting on. I'm going to record this on a live because I think you guys will appreciate it and like it as well. Especially going into the summer months where maybe you're going to be having some celebrations and parties, and maybe you might want to make your own invites that look like this. So let's get started. Super simple. Take any brush you have. I'm going to get it wet. I'm using Daniel Smith quinacridone gold. And the first thing I'm going to do is get it really concentrated with the pigment, and I'm going to just start splatting it everywhere. The point is to have it, I'm so sorry, of course, the second I get on a live, dog's going to bark, kids are going to make noise, all that good stuff. But the point is to start with it super concentrated, and as it gets lighter, let me do this, as it gets lighter, you're going to add more water to the brush, and you're going to get the blobs bigger, and it's going to end up being lighter like this, as you can see. And you get just a little bit more water, get some lighter strokes here going, as you can see. Okay. So one of the things that I really like about that quinacridone gold is when it's really concentrated, it looks orange, and when it's less concentrated, it looks yellow, which I think is pretty cool. I'm going to grab just a little bit more and go a little bit more around, whoops, around this edge here, just to make sure that it's not empty. All right, and then the other one is going to be this phthalo turquoise. And again, it's going to be the same thing. It's a little watery because of what I was doing over here on this. Like I said, I was recording that content for my feed. And I'm just going to start going around, splattering. They're going to be a little small and dark to begin with. Then I'm just going to dip it into the water, make it bigger, and it's going to start getting lighter. I'm going to do it one more time. Kind of fun, right? All right, and then this is the super easy part. Just going to take this brush. Might take a bigger one just because I have one, but you don't have to take a bigger one. This is my Princeton 3/4 inch Neptune oval wash. Just going to take clean water, and I'm just going to do this. Maybe just smear up a little bit here. And that's literally all I did. And it just looks so much fun. I don't know why. I know, it's so stupidly exciting. Now, for some reason, this one looks more fun. I don't know why. Probably because some of this dried a little bit before we could get to it. So let's see if we can maybe use this and try to maybe lift up some of that. But I'm not hating it. I'll probably leave some of them. But I think it's pretty fun. I might even just go in and maybe add like a smaller smaller little bit here just to, you know, add some more interest. Like this. So we have like 2 different size lines. Add that. Did I really just say it like that? I think I did. All right, let's dry it and we'll add more. This is just like a silly little exercise just to get your paper not white anymore. Like, a lot of people have a hard time starting with watercolor because they're staring at a white page. They expect it to be perfect and to come out a certain way, and then they get too scared, so they just end up not doing anything, or they get frustrated. And I find this to be a very fun way to just let loose and have fun. And it doesn't have to be this squiggly thing. It could be circles, it could be dots, it could be stripes, it could be anything you want it. Now I have an even better idea. Marie says, you just described me. Yes. And that is part of why I filmed this that I'm going to be putting on my feed sometime this week. I'm trying to do some more tutorials that just kind of show people easy ways, easy little like practices to do every day with watercolor that just get them to be less afraid of doing watercolor. And you know what? I'm going to do another one. Let me get this tape pulled up. If I heat it up first, it won't, or it usually doesn't tear my paper. And I'll show you another example of a fun way we can do this. Now I'm going to reuse this tape as long as it lets me. So I'm going to try to not let it curl on itself. All right, there's that. And there's so much you can do with this. You don't even have to leave it like this. Like, if you wanted to, you could take it from here and do doodles inside of it. That's a very common thing that I do. And me and a couple of my regulars were talking, and I think every other Friday I'm going to start hosting a multi-guest where we literally just get on and make art together. I'll be leading it. We'll be doing something simple like this. And basically you just make it your own. We did one. It was super fun. And I think I have that artwork over here somewhere. Let me see. I have a whole stack of artwork from doing these daily lives. I was thinking about maybe putting them on auction. Here it is. So this is the one we did not last Friday, the Friday before that. And it looks more complicated than it is, but it was so easy to do. And you just literally doodle. Anyway, let me show you another example of how you can take something like this and do something different with it. So again, my paper is this side. My finger doesn't, yeah, it's this side. Okay, so we're gonna take this, tape it down again. Man, that looks bad. Let me try that one more time to get that to look a little bit better. I know it's not going to be perfect because I've already used it once, so it's probably stretched a certain way, but it's all right. And take this, go like this here, and this one here. All right, so we're going to start by doing the exact same thing. So I'm going to take this brush, again, going to get it wet. I'm going to go into, well, let me clean this up first because, as you can see, I accidentally got some of that blue in there. So it's kind of more greeny than it is blue. So I'm going to just take the same brush and get that quinacridone gold on there. I'm going to start by just getting these splats everywhere. I'm hoping these won't dry as fast, but this paper is not the greatest paper, so it does tend to dry relatively quickly. So I'm going to try to work relatively quickly. Then I'm going to go into that water and start getting some of that diluted, getting those larger splatters. I am going to get some more dark on there just for this center part. Again, getting some more. And you can do bigger blobs than this if you want. You can get some really big ones, especially if you kind of come down with it and kind of flick your wrist as you bring it down. And then I'm going to go grab that phthalo turquoise and start getting that down like this. Grab a little bit more. That one's pretty watered down as it is. And now I'm going to go ahead and dilute what's on my brush so we can get it looking a little bit lighter. And one more time, get some light, bigger blobbies. Okay, now watch this. You can take your brush and just draw some florals with it. So I'm going to start by just like that. You could do a smaller one like this here. You could do some little leafy guy here. You could do another little leafy guy down here. And then maybe in between you can do some details. So maybe you can bring up some little guys here. And then in between, you could maybe just bring in some lines that go through like this. And then once this is dry, again, you can go in with ink. You can go in with acrylic. You can go in with more watercolor. You can go in with gel pens, anything, and just add additional detail to it to make it look visually interesting. Another thing you could do is bring in a spray bottle and spray a little bit. So if you wanted to do something like that, you could kind of just get this interesting effect where it kind of bleeds out into some of this. There are just all sorts of ways you can take this and play with it and make it interesting. And again, it doesn't need to be anything, it doesn't need to be a masterpiece. It doesn't need to be perfection. Like, this is what I'm working on right now. It probably looks like garbage right now, but it doesn't need to be anything but play. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be playful. And I think that's the beauty in all of this, is that once you learn to let go of perfection in the watercolor itself, then it becomes something playful and fun, and then you don't feel as intimidated by it. So we've got this one now, we've got this one, all inspired by this one in my little journal here, which is why I tell people to keep a watercolor journal. And I'll show you some of what we can do with this here. It's going to be really fun. Let me just get this dry. Okay, so this looks good. Again, it doesn't need to be any sort of perfection. You just want to put something down on your paper. Have a little fun with it. This looks more complicated than it is, and I promise you, is not complicated at all. So because I was just using the heat gun on this, likely I should be able to pull this tape off without ripping the paper. So I'm just going to do that really quick. And then I'll show you some of the things that you can do on top of this to, again, make it your own, make it more interesting, or if you're happy with this the way that it is, totally fine. But again, the idea is to just let go of whatever fear you have of working with watercolors and just get something on your paper. And this is a fun and very, very simple way to do it. And so once you've got this down, and tore my paper, dang it. Okay. So once you've got this down, there are so many different things you can do here. And I'm going to show you some. You can bring in a white gel pen and create little details within here, which would be super fun. You could bring in your gold ink, which evidently has water on it. Your gold ink and do gold ink details. That's one of my signature moves. You could bring in your Bombay India ink and you could draw with the dropper on top of it. That's another one of my signature moves. Let me show you an example of what that can look like. So like this, I used my black matte India ink and I drew with the dropper, just some easy, quick, loose style, things like that. You could do foil. Gold foil is always really fun. Let me try to find some more examples here of what I am talking about. Here's an example of some gold foil you could do. You could put on some adhesive sizing, put the foil on there, brush it off, and then you have some interesting looking stuff there. And let's see here, I've got so much more. You could use a metallic watercolor on top of it to get that metallic effect. You could use that gold ink like I mentioned right there. You could, you guys, I'm so upset. I filmed this and I thought I downloaded it in time and apparently I didn't. So now I don't have the replay for this one. Anyway, here's some acrylic. You can paint some acrylic. This was actually a collage paper, but you could paint some acrylic on there. This one was a piece of garbage. Oh, here's some gold ink that's reflective. So there's just all sorts of stuff that you can do on here that can really turn it into something amazing. So sky's the limit, right? So let's take a look and actually do some of this stuff so you can see what this looks like. Excuse me. So I would say the first thing that I would be prone to do is using the gold. But before I do that, I want to use the white. So this is the ZSCM white gel pen. You can use a white acrylic marker if you have one. I have the Posca pen 0.7 millimeter white. The ZSCMs come with several different markers. I don't find these to be very good, but you can't buy the pens individually. There is a 0.8 millimeter that I also like to use that I think just fell out of my little, yeah, there it is, my little caboodle thing over here. So I usually use the 0.8 just because it's a bit more fine lined and I tend to do more fine lines, but if you wanted something bigger, you could. So I'm going to use the 0.8 here, but what I want to show you is just some of what you can do here in terms of like doodling. So you've made something like this, it doesn't look that great, but it kind of looks fun and maybe you want to just do something more to it to just take it beyond this. So let's say from here, I might do something where I want to maybe start making some texture around here. So maybe I start by bringing in some white gel pen and I'm going to start by making these half circle shapes along here. And it doesn't have to be white. It's just, oh, and you can't even see what I'm doing. Let me zoom in on this for you. It's going to look wonky for a sec. Forgive me. Let me see if that's close enough. Let me do it a little bit further in. Again, 1 second. There you go. Now you can see it. So then maybe inside here, I'll add another shape in there and I'll fill it in like this. And this is where, when we went live and made our Doodle Bible, your Doodle Bible could come in handy. There you go. All right, so I know this is kind of hard to see on the camera, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. All right, so then maybe I'll layer it with another one like this. And then inside of that, I'll do another one and then color this in. You could also do this with any color. It does not have to be white. White is just what I have here. Although I would love to buy the whole set because these gel pens are truly the best gel pens on the planet, but they are also expensive as an entire set. And Jen is an unemployed freeloader. So there's that. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in a little bit closer so you can see what that looks like. A bit like that. So you can start to fill it in that way if you wanted to. Another thing that you could do is, again, bring in some gold ink. That is probably my signature move, I would say, for most of my work. I love bringing in the shimmer. It's just what I do. And this one is basically inked shut. There we go. So I'm going to take this and grab my little stirring stick. The gold does tend to settle on the bottom, so I always keep a stirring stick to just keep it stirred while I'm using it. And there's a couple ways you can use this. You can use this in a pen and nib, or you can use it with a brush, which is what I typically do. So in this case, what I would do is just use my liner brush. This is a number 3 script liner. And I would probably just start by adding some funky lines. So maybe I would start here and just start kind of doing some lines all around. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. There. Okay, so now you can see already you've got a nice shimmer that kind of wakes it up. And then from here, there's all sorts of other things you can do. You can start by adding some splatter to it, which is something that I like to do. So I'm going to use this script liner brush to add that splatter. And then you can start also, because you can't really see this very well, you could also use this to go over it. But because I used a pen, I'm not going to be able to get the same effect as I can with a pen with this. So I would likely go in and use a pen and nib, which is like, you know, calligraphy pen. Another thing you could do is go in and start to make some other things around here like this. So if you wanted to, you could try to cover up some of what you did over here by bringing in the gold over here, making it look more intentional. Like that. And again, it doesn't need to be overthought. Like, just put something on your paper. It doesn't need to be perfection. We're not going for perfection. And then anybody who's followed me for any significant period of time, significant being a day, knows how much I love dots. So I'd probably bring in some dots here, like this. And let's see, I might also bring in some other like that over here. So again, just kind of following the shape of this. And then making those dots again. Okay, so now we've got one around each. This one, to be honest, I'll just go ahead and cover up the white because I don't care that much. This is not anything but a fun exercise. So we'll just go over that. No big deal. And again, going to bring in those dots. Might have accidentally put too much there, but that's okay. Just trying to move through this quickly so we can move on to the next one, because I think that one will be a little more fun for you to watch. Okay. Now it's funny because as I'm looking at these now and as I've gotten this kind of worked out like this, they almost are starting to look like cacti to me. I'm going to zoom out here and then I'm going to bring this over here. I know it looks wonky, so bear with me. I'm going to zoom in like this. So now they're starting to kind of take a shape to me that kind of look like a cacti. And so I might be more inclined to start maybe making some little cacti type, you know, just these lines that sort of indicate that there might be some spikes. I don't know what these things are called on a cactus, but and so then all of a sudden it becomes an abstract cactus. So, and again, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be fun. You have fun with it. Yeah, this may not go on your wall and it may not be sold on Etsy and it may not be something that you ever look at again. But the point is you had fun making it and maybe you learned something along the way too. That is the point of just starting, putting something on your paper. All right, now that being said, a couple of other options you have here. You want to bring in some additional contrast, you can bring in some black. We have a black Sharpie felt tip pen. We have a Posca pen here. Whichever one you find appropriate is up to you. I like the finer tip pen, so probably what I would do is just come over here and start to kind of do the same thing that I did with the gold to bring in some contrast to the areas that we've added the gold in. That way these little guys kind of start to stand out a bit. I'm also trying to be careful to not put my hand in wet ink. And with exercises like this, you get to learn your materials really well. And if you use paper that's relatively inexpensive, like this stuff, then you tend to not worry about when you do mess it up because it's not expensive Arches paper. It's just day-to-day watercolor paper from Hobby Lobby. So you can see what we've got going on here so far. So let's also start adding some of the details here. So you can see we've got some of this that we've done, these little broken lines almost. And I'm just going to kind of go around here with them. Again, just kind of going along what we already have. There. And then let's see from here, let's maybe go around here. And then this one over here, do the same thing. Again, trying to not put my hand in any wet ink. The splatters usually take a little bit longer to dry. I still see some wet spots over there. Okay, so now you can see already this has taken on kind of a life of its own. You may not like it, you may like it, and that's kind of your own prerogative. I'm just, if you want to keep going or if you hate it and you want to stop, totally fine. But I think that this just kind of creates a fun atmosphere of being able to create without the pressure of creating a masterpiece, because you're literally just playing for the sake of playing. So I think this one is good enough for now. I am happy with it. I don't feel the need to do anything else with it. So I'm just going to move it off to the side so we can move over to this one. So this one is also a fun looking one to me. My initial thought would have been to use the Dr. P.H. Martin's India ink to kind of go over this. But as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, well, we tried the white here and it didn't really show up. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe we don't use the white ink on these. Maybe instead we talk about doing some foil. We used the gold ink, so you've gotten to see that already. So I think the foil would be a fun one to work on. So I'm going to cap this, and I have some adhesive sizing in a squeeze bottle that I'm going to grab here. And then I'm going to put one of these tips on it. There we go. And essentially what I'm going to do is just kind of draw sloppily. Make sure that's not going to pour out too fast. I think it's going to, but we're just going to go with it. And I'm basically just going to draw over the top where I want the adhesive sizing to be. Now you don't want it to be super thick, and that's the problem with some of these bottles sometimes is it can definitely become too much. And then when it's too much, it takes a really long time to dry. So I'm just gonna do my best here to make it go well. Here's the flower that we did. Probably just highlight the petals here. Maybe I'll add a couple of dots in the center. Maybe just a couple little lines right here down the petals. And we had a line over here that we had made, which is now going to be completely covered in sizing because that just leaked everywhere. Do another one here. Got another one here. There we go. We've got this one that kind of spans the paper. And we did get a little break in that, so I'm going to need to go over it carefully. And that's the problem, when you tip them over, you get this air bubble. And that's not what you want. All right, let's add this. You can see that air bubble that came out. Because then when they pop, they leave a big old splotch of the sizing there. And then it's kind of out of control at that point. All right, let's see. All right, so now I'm going to do this petal, this petal, this petal, all the way around. Do a couple of dots in the center. Add just a couple of these little lines. Okay, so now I'm going to let that dry. That's going to take a few minutes. And if you're using a squeeze bottle like this for your adhesive sizing, you can just toss it into some water. $5 grand. Dave, William, why don't you just pay me the $5 grand and make it easy? Blot. All right. So I'm gonna put this on here and go. All right. So this will take just a minute to dry. And in the meantime, let's get our foil. So the type of foil I'm using is just random foil. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It's not, there isn't a brand name. I just find it and buy it, whatever's cheaper. And then another thing that we can do while that's drying is bring in some more of this pen work. Although I'm debating on maybe bringing in the Posca marker for this so that it's a little bit more contrasted. So maybe what I'll do here is kind of just bring in some of this in the center here. So instead of thin marks, we have a little bit thicker. And then maybe these leaves can have some. This guy just gets a little indication there. And then maybe we'll add just a little bit here and here, 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 and here. I think that's good. Now I'm going to just use my heat gun to try to move this along. You'll know it's dry when it's completely clear. Otherwise it's kind of a milky white. So yeah. Hi Katie! Happy Sunday, girlfriend. How's your Sunday going? Oh, I bet. I've been trying to keep up with some of your videos. They're finally starting to pop up in my feed. And I could not find a way to like mark someone's as like, you know, someone's that you like want to prioritize. And I looked it up on Google and couldn't find it either. So I was like, man, whatever. So now I'm like trying to make a conscious effort to go and look. And I wonder if it's because I'm doing that, it's finally like showing me your stuff in my feed. Oh, they're so cute. Their little meows are like, oh my gosh, I wish I wasn't allergic to cats. My husband and one of my girls wants a cat so bad. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just allergic to life. I'm allergic to our dog too, but it's a different type of allergy response that I can handle. Like the only allergic response that I have to my dog is when I bathe her, it sets off my asthma. So I just take my inhaler or I wear a mask. And then if I scratch her and then I touch my eye, then my eye gets real itchy. And so I just know not to do that. And I just wash my hands after I touch her. So that's pretty much it. But with a cat, it's like, if I'm even in their presence, it's pretty immediate. Like I go over to my best friend's house, she has a cat, and like I always have to take my inhaler because inevitably I start to have an asthma attack and then got to take my inhaler for it. I'm constantly sneezing. My skin gets really itchy. Just like being over at her house, I have to take a blanket to sit on her couch so that my skin doesn't come in contact with the cat hair and stuff. It's ridiculous. But she has a little one, so I'm, you know, I try to take my precautions because I don't want her to always have to come to my house. Let's see here. It's the bell at the top, I think, or I don't know, into. I didn't see a bell at the top. I tried, and I asked Google. Yeah, unfortunately, my body never got used to the dander. I did allergy shots for years because we had 2 cats when I was younger, and it just never worked out. And there are certain dogs I react that way to as well. Not quite as bad as with the cats, but my brother's dog is a short-haired dog, and I tend to have those issues with short-haired dogs. So you would think the fluffier dogs would be worse, but it's not the case for me. But then my mom and my brother do okay with the short-haired dogs. But then my dog, who's really fluffy, they have issues with. Yeah, me too. When I was young, my asthma was a lot worse. And then it was fine until maybe a couple of years ago, and then it kind of started acting a fool again. And now it's kind of, I don't know, month by month as to whether or not it wants to behave. All right, so here we go with the gold. So I'm going to take these sheets here and grab a full sheet, if it will let me. There we go. And I'm going to lay this down over the top here in as least of a wrinkly way as I can. It's okay if it tears, just press it down. I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to lay it down up here because I know there's some spots up here that need it. There we go. And I'll put this right over here. All right. And then I'm going to go and grab another sheet, put that in here, unless it wants to stay on my finger. All right, and this one is going to go here. And then I think I have one actually sitting right here. Grab this one. And we're going to put part of it here. And then the other part is going to kind of get split up over here because I don't want to waste another sheet if I don't have to. So there's that. Put that down. Grab this because some of that didn't stick all the way. And put that down. Okay, so we got that pressed down. Looks good. I don't think I have an invite to a live this morning. I wasn't planning to go live today, but I was recording some content for this week, and I did this, and I got excited and decided to jump on a live and do 2 examples of what that could turn into. So that's what I'm doing today. All right, so now I'm just going to start by peeling off some of these larger sheets, mainly because my fan is on, and if I start brushing, it's going to all go everywhere, and I'd rather get the larger sheets off first so they don't fly away. And I want to show you, you can see where it's sticking to those. I haven't done like an event invitation to a live in a while. So I don't know. I did go live yesterday for a while for the peacock, but the peacock one isn't really like a talk and chill and make art tutorial. It's more like a, I need to record this and there's not enough room on my phone, so I'm just going to go live, and if you want to watch, you can. That way I have it recorded somewhere on the internet. All right, so now I'm just going to grab this brush and I'm going to start gently brushing away some of this gold leaf. Hopefully you can see that as I do it. I used to have a lid for this Tupperware thing. I have no idea where it went. Okay, now if you have some areas that maybe didn't get the adhesive sizing like here, I'm not going to worry about that because I don't care that much. So no big deal. Oh, Katie says, I went live Friday night and I'm scared to watch it back. I think I'll leave it where it is. I know the feeling. And then at some point, I'm just like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I'm Florida Jen. Florida Jen doesn't give a crap. It's really freeing once you stop caring about what people think or say about you. Especially about your double chin or the fact that you're middle-aged or that, you know, maybe they don't like your art. I'm like, I don't care. I like my art and I have fun making it. So go blow it out your A. And then when people watch this back on YT, they'll have a good old time laughing at the things that I say. Florida Jen is going to be on TV with the ads one day. Girl, did you see the one I posted today with my husband? I was like, I told him the other day I was getting that shirt for him. I know, I need more people to hate me, dang it. Maybe if I do more of that mother-in-law stuff. I actually have a bunch saved in my drafts. I just haven't been posting because I've been busy, but I need to. But the one I did with my husband today, I was dying. Oh, yeah? My husband needs a haircut, and a beard trim. But yeah, when I got that shirt in, I was like, honey, I'm going to need you to be in one of my videos. And I was just going to get some videos of him in the backyard mowing the lawn. I was going to do a voiceover, and that was going to be that. But since I made my media kit, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to make this fun. And I was sitting down and I was starting to edit the video. And I was like, you know what? It'll take me like less than 5 minutes to ask him to hold my camera and get some pictures of me being ridiculous in my pajamas with my hat and my sunglasses and the Florida Jen persona. I mean, it's not a persona, but that's like the uniform, you know? And so all I had to do, like, those shots of him was just going to be like a serious ad. And then I was like, no, let's add this. It's going to be perfect. And so I did. And I was like, yes, I didn't have to, plan a trip and film all day and all that stuff. So it was awesome. So I'm trying to do that since these brands aren't like paying me. They're just sending me free stuff, So I'm trying to be more strategic in which ones I go all out for, because I do want to start getting some actual paid brand deals, not just free stuff brand deals, because I feel like that's how I'm going to start earning something more than what I'm earning now. But I also think once I hit, over a month on the influencer program, my videos will start being shown to more people. So they'll be indexed and I'll start, having daily sales versus every few days. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so that's the hope. It was perfect. I literally was like, David Dean, is that you? I think if you keep up with what you're already doing, you'll get brand deals that ask you for that. Yeah, and I mean, I figure even if the brands don't necessarily ask me for that, but then like they see that I've done it and they want to use the video, then they can buy the rights to it. And that's like, that's a good paycheck. So I figure, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but that's kind of where I'm thinking I might go with that. Yeah. And you were probably like, yes, I'm finally going to run off into the sunset with my penny. Right? I know. I maybe earn 2 cents alive if I'm lucky. But I am thinking about creating an auction event and trying to auction off some of this art that I make live, because it's starting to stack up and I'm not going to do anything with it. After I digitize it, I just try to sell it on you know, prints on my website, and nobody's bought any of those. So, but it was from an author I was trying to give tips on a book from. And he said, I'm into redheads with a southern accent. Oh dear. That's when you're just like, okay, that just took a weird turn. So he did. I'd be like, I need you to send one of those Secretariat roses. That's like 30,000 coins, and then we'll talk. I only sort of know how to do that. Like, let me see. If I go to live goal, will it let me do anything? Okay, so I can update my live goal. So my live goal right now is just like a donut. But if I wanted to edit that live goal, I could go to edit, and then it says select a gift. It may not be up there anymore because I think the derby's over, but they had one that was like a horse with a rose in its mouth. And like they all have different coin values. And so like I'm looking at some of these, they're like $4.50, but some of them are like super. Okay, like this one. Thunder Falcon is 39,999 coins. Fire Phoenix is 41,999 coins. And Pegasus is 42,999 coins. So like I could set this as my goal. Confirm. And I don't know that you can actually see that on my screen, but let me go back to scene here. And if I show goal and drag it on top of both cameras, you can see gifts are always appreciated. And then I don't know how this is going to look. Hang on, let's see. Set current goal. Upload new image. I'm not sure what that's supposed to look like, but I don't know. I thought it was going to show the actual Pegasus because it shows it in the bottom for me. Here, let me see if I pin it. Pinned. Your viewers can now see your live goal. Okay. Can you see it now? My live goal at the top? The Pegasus. All right, let's see here. He just sent me his link to his book on Amazon. I feel like that's a lot of dollars though, and he was trying to get me to spend money on my live. Yeah, see, that's where you have to be like, buddy, this is my live. You spend money on me. I'm not buying your Amazon book. It disappeared. The live goal. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I would have, not gonna lie, if he would have given a free sample. I love books. Yeah. Well, I honestly get real irritated when somebody gets on one of my lives and tries to either sell me something or tries to poach my people. Most of them are the ones that are like offering to pay bills for people to the first 5 people who do blah, blah, blah. And then I ban them. And I feel like I'm having to do that a heck of a lot more now, which is really annoying. The weekends when I go live, I feel like I don't really get that many people that come through the way I do during the week. During the week, I feel like my lives have really started to go through the roof. Like I'm getting a lot more people coming through, and I'm getting a lot more people staying and watching, which is pretty cool. But I'm also getting a lot more of those people trying to say, hey, I'm paying off bills for the first 5 people that message me. And I'm like, oh, you are? Well, then why don't you just pay mine? Because I'm the one actually on here doing stuff. And then I go blocked, and I click the button to block them. So yeah. But anyway, So that's all I'm going to do to this. There's the gold for anybody that wants to see it for the replays anyway. I'm just going to show this. So this one is the gold ink, and this one is the gold foil. Dun, 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 dun. Right? Isn't it so pretty? Ah. Yeah, this one was just supposed to be a fun, like, but then as I started making these little things around these areas, I was like, they kind of look like cacti now. So I decided to turn them into little cacti. They just have, like, you know, the little cacti needles. And they just look fun, like a party. So, and all because I was filming 6 ways to just get something down on your paper instead of staring at a blank watercolor page. And I did this one and I was like, oh, I'm so inspired. Who knew I could inspire myself? Anyway, but yeah, I like this one. Not gonna lie, this one's making me very happy. I don't know if it's the colors. I think it's the dots. It just reminds me of confetti. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I like it a lot. But yeah, so I'm going to look into the auction. I don't know if anybody would show up to it. I don't know if anybody would buy any of it, but I was trying to do a little bit of research on like what I would want to price things at, like to start off with, because I know a lot of people will like sell shirts and like they'll start the bidding at $1. And most times they always go up above like $15 and stuff. But I'm like, look, if I'm selling my prints on my website of these for at most a 12 by 12 for $36 shipped in the US, then that would mean the original painting would need to be at least more than that. Are you talking about Whatnot? No, I'm talking about TikTok auctions. So the original would need to be priced at least, say, $40 for starters. And I don't know that anybody's going to pay that. Like, maybe I'm wrong. But, like, when I think about, like, the fact that they could just get a print of this versus paying for the original, like, what's the incentive, you know? Oh, yeah, it is. People do TikTok auctions all the time. And I believe they take 7%. Really? So I don't know. So I'm thinking about creating something like that and doing a live auction for some of these that I've already digitized, and that way, I mean, not that one. That one looks like I wiped my butt with it. But you know, just trying to get rid of some of these just because it's amazing how like making art every day has really, you know, made my art stash increase dramatically. Sure. I'll take it. Which one you want, girl? You don't have to decide now if you don't want to, because this isn't even all of them. Let me see what else I have. Let's see here. I got this one, this one. That one I still need to photograph. This one's all messed up. This one I'm not done with. This one is not one that I even painted on a live. This one's not worthy of being sold. This one was an Amazon live, so I might consider that one. There's this one. And I think these were the rest of them. And this one. Okay, so I have the alcohol ink. Okay, that sounds good. And then I have this one. These ones still have like flying pieces on them because I accidentally put stuff on top of them. And then when I took stuff off, some of the stickies went with it. So I put foil back on it just so I could still pile stuff on it. But I still have all this stuff as well. So, yeah, this was really just more of a let me show you how I do this piece. So that's not really like one that is even a complete. But I think that's all the ones that I have that would be for sale. But I also still have like a crap ton of other ones that I didn't even do on lives that I can auction off too. If you like this one, I can always digitize it and keep this one held aside for you. Okay. I might cut you a deal on it if you're willing to post them on your TikTok. But like when I was researching it and using Perplexity to help me figure out how these should be priced at an auction, it said that most artists could expect between like $80 and $150. And I was like, nobody's going to pay that. So I figured I'd start the bidding at $440 and see what comes of it. And she thinks y'all are friends too. And girl, you know I will. Sounds good. Then I'll hold that one aside for you. So yeah, just I honestly don't know price wise, but yeah, just know it'll be definitely under 80, definitely above 40, and we'll go from there. Okay, I've never even heard about Whatnot. I just figured I'd try the live auctions on TikTok because they work with your following. And I figure if I've been on here doing this every single day and we've been creating this art together, then my following might prefer to have first dibs at the auction. So that was kind of my thought process on it. But is it? Okay. Okay, I'll check it out. Let me write it down because I will forget inevitably. I forget everything. I didn't used to. I used to be on top of it. I don't know what happened. I got old, maybe. I don't even have a piece of paper over here, do I? I'll write it on the back of this one, which I still have Kylie Pitts and Sue Smiles that I need to look at. Okay, so that was Whatnot. Okay. Perfect. And I still need to figure out who commissioned me to do that freaking bird, the hummingbird, because I don't know who it was. I buy from a girl in Vegas. She's super cool, but it's basically go live, show your paintings, and set your lowest price. Okay. Can I do it in my pajamas? I literally have been living in these for like 3 days. I've showered and then gotten right back into them. It's like my uniform now. They're so comfortable. They're from Walmart. The Joyspun brand. I don't know if you know about the Joyspun brand, but if you don't, you should. Raw and real people. I like raw and real people. That's my people. That's funny. Yeah, I'm obsessed with these. Mainly because Joyspun always has like the softest material, and it's usually pretty cheap too. and I've collected their ridiculous things for years. And to a point that I had more pajamas than clothes, so I had to get rid of some of them. But now, oh yeah, no, most of mine are pajama shirts. They're like just long shirts. It's ridiculous. But this one, I saw the print, I had to have it. And this one actually has bottoms that they're supposed to be capris, but because I'm so short, they're like pants. And so rather than having pants that I have to step on all day, these just fit like they're supposed to. Unlike my green ones that have the ones that you saw, the dark green ones with the Christmas trees on them, those ones I step on all the time. Drives me crazy. But yeah. All right. So I will look into Whatnot. I am going to eat some dinner because I'm starving, and I will hold this one aside for you. I mean, if you want this one too, I can go over this with like foil so they match. What else? Yeah, other than that, I think that's it. Yes, text me. And I will try to respond to that faster than I typically do. Oh, Lenny G's up in the house, or she was. I don't know if she still is. Yeah, I spent a long time today doing, Ayo. I spent a long time today catching up on my dad's website project and his text messages. I did some filming and updated all of my socials with that stuff, so I'm updated there. I filmed some content for TikTok this week with this stuff. Like I said, I wasn't going to go live today, but I did once I got excited about that. So then got this, and then I think I have a couple more text threads I still need to catch up on, but I'm playing catch up today, so I will do that. I'm starving too. I was just telling Katie that I was gonna go eat some dinner. Colby was thawing some baked ziti that I made a while ago, and I have my cheeseless baked ziti. So good. Leftovers. Well, they were make-ahead meals that I froze. It's like that meat sauce that I made a bunch of that we had on Easter. I like the way you think, Lenny. I like the way you think. What's that? Which holidays? Because there's a lot of holidays between now and the Christmas holiday season, and I don't think I can wait that long. You know, I know you're really big on breakfast for dinner, but no. Like everything that's breakfast for dinner has cheese or milk, and I can't do either of those. So Kevin is right. Well, of course Clara would be on board because she loves cheese and, well, cheese. No, I can't do dairy. I haven't done dairy in years. I'm both intolerant and allergic. She probably did. That wouldn't surprise me. Girlfriend loves her some Dairy Queen. Yeah, Katie, it used to be that I could have a little bit and I would be okay, but after all my C-sections, After my first C-section, it was bad, and then it got a little bit better, but with each one, it just got worse. And then I could have a little bit at one point in recent years, But even within the last year, I started getting hives down my face if I would have even a little bit of dairy. So it's like off the table completely now. It's ridiculous. Makes me sad. Because I love me a good wits, you know what I mean? Yet I can have butter. I don't know what that's all about. Ew. Even when I could have milk, I would not drink it. I haven't like drank milk since the 2nd grade. But I have done, way back when I moved out on my own, I would do, what's it called? Almond milk. No, I tried soy milk. Turns out I have an issue with soy milk too. So, but that just upsets my stomach. It's not an actual allergy. So I did almond milk, which was like good enough, but like bleh. And then once, no, it was rice milk. And then almond milk came around. So I did almond milk until oat milk came around. And now oat milk is my jam. But they put so much crap in oat milk in terms of like thickening agents that bother my stomach, that there's only one kind that I get that I actually drink every day in my coffee. And it's the shelf-stable kind that basically is just water, oat milk, salt, and I think one other preservative that I don't remember. But so yeah, I do still buy like the regular oat milk, not the flavored kind, just regular for like cooking and stuff. But that's it. Ew. Ew. Sick. But like even my little brother's birthday this past April, he got an ice cream cake and I didn't get to eat it. Of course, my stomach was upset as crap, but even if I wanted to eat it, I couldn't eat it. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of people that drink milk. I'm just not one of them. Yeah, Lindsay wasn't happy about the Carvel cake either. Yeah. Today's, let me find it. I'm holding it aside for Katie, because I was telling her that I think I'm going to put all this stuff that I've made on an auction. But today I wasn't planning to go live, and I was filming some content, like 6 ways to just get something on your paper and have fun. And I got excited about this one, so I decided to go live and make 2 different versions. And this ended up looking like cacti. So kind of made it into like an abstract cacti. And then this one I did into like a floral and did foil. Right? Just kind of looks like a fun party. Party on the paper. So yeah, other than that, just been catching up on stuff. Oh, and I had a design job that I had to catch up on today too. Oh, I do too. Yeah, I was planning to do the design job yesterday, but I was just so tired all day yesterday. All day. I was literally on the couch all day. Oh, that makes me feel so special. I'm glad to hear that. I try to be entertaining to some extent. At least when I can be. Sometimes I'm just dull. I keep telling Lindsay that she and I need to get on together. And she just comes up with all sorts of reasons why she doesn't want to be on the camera. And then she'll come up with all sorts of great ideas of stuff for us to do together. And then when push comes to shove, she doesn't do it. Yeah, see? She acts like she's shy. She's not shy. You have everything to say. I was talking to Megan about this on Friday when I hung out with her. She's like, how does she not know how funny she is? I was like, I don't know, because she's stupid. Yeah. I'm like, even if you just want to sit next to me, you know what we should do? We should go live and play Dr. Mario. I think we could actually stream Dr. Mario while we play. I think there's a way to do that. No. No? Was I supposed to? Oh, Katie, you ask an insightful question. Lindsay, would you like to tell her what Dr. Mario is? I think she'd love to know. You said you got a game where it's like how well you... Oh, no, I said I reviewed that one for Amazon, but I have it. Yeah, there's one called How Well Do You Know Your Family? It's a card game. Actually, I think it's behind me. Yep. It's called Do You Really Know Your Family? And I think that this would be hilarious to go live and play. Lindsay, you should come over tonight and we should do it. I play on level 1. Florida Jen plays on level 15. Yeah. So it's basically Tetris Mario style, but it's Dr. Mario because you're playing with a giant pill bottle and the pills are like the Tetris pieces. And I kill. So if Lindsay were on here right now, the challenge would be tell a joke. If anyone laughs or chuckles, you get to keep this card. Tonight, I'm still in my bathing suit. Oh, my new bathing suit was supposed to arrive today. I need to see if it's here yet. Okay, trivia. Lindsay, what is my strangest habit? I know what she's going to say. Tomorrow night, because it's Monday night. And I know Kevin's going to be at pool tomorrow. Oh, Kevin has to play too. He doesn't want to play on the internet. Kevin's hilarious too, but he is also shy on the internet. I know you know what my strangest habit is, or I know what I think you would say my strangest habit is. I'm going to give you another minute and then I'm going to say it. By the way, you guys, this is on Amazon. Kevin said all of them. This has a campaign on Amazon right now. So if you buy it using my link, I get an extra bonus. Okay, tell me. Tell me, girl, tell me. Jeopardy noises. No, that's not my strangest habit. You would say my strangest habit is sleeping till noon. Which I did do today. She hates that. Like that impacts you any. Well, then I think your strangest habit is getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday. And falling asleep at 9 o'clock in the morning. So there. Katie says, my favorite if I didn't have any small children. Lenny says, Kevin said, agrees. Grunting while taking a dump. Aggressive. Oh, Kevin said, aggressive grunting while taking a dump. I'm confused. Oh, is he saying that's my strangest habit? You do get up too early, girl. You get up to watch the sunrise. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, I don't make a lot of noises when I dump, but when I do, it sounds something like this. You're welcome. right, trivia. You ready for this? What about myself has not changed in the past 5 years? And you can't say sleeping until noon. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to ask you all these, Lindsay, because we have to save some of these for game night. Ooh, we should get some wine. Oh, but I can't drink wine right now. Stupid medications. What about myself has not changed in the past 5 years? Health and job. Amen, sister. Oh, I know one. My hair color. Yeah, that's probably the only thing that hasn't changed about myself in the last 5 years. Let's see. Let's see. I don't have a job and I don't go to school. So what annoys me the most at school/work? That ain't gonna do nothing. Let's see. What top do I wear most often? These days, Joyspun. Kevin said that's a miracle. I know. Pajamas, yes, pajamas. See, you too. You know me now. You got it. Let's see here. What else do we have? What was the happiest day of my life so far? This one's a trick question because I know the answer to that. I would bet that this would be a very difficult one to answer because I don't think anybody knows the answer to this one. How did you know, Lindsay? Katie, let me tell you something funny about Lindsay. I met Lindsay. She was super quiet, super nice, all that stuff. And I went and I looked at her Facebook. Can I be dark and not dark at the same time? Your son's birth. You can be dark and not dark at the same time. And no, not my son's birth. No. So when I met Lindsay, like I said, she was nice and all. I go on Facebook. I'm looking through her pictures because I want to know who this chick is that's dating my little brother. And no, not the day I got my house. And I was looking through her pictures and I was looking at some of her pictures and I'm like, this one's not going to last. Oh, yeah. So funny. And I'm so glad that it did. I love my Lenny G. No, I actually don't have a happiest day of my life. That's why it's a trick question. Because there is not one day that I was happier than another day. There are events in my life that I am so happy about and things that I have felt very happy about, but there isn't one day that overtakes them all. Yeah. I'm sure that's what my husband's parents wished was the case with me. You guys already know my favorite hobby. That doesn't count. Okay, I got to save some of these, but yes. Okay, hang on. Let me just look at one more. One more. Who would I want to be stuck with on a deserted island? I think Lindsay already knows the answer to this too. Lindsay, who would I want to be stuck with on a deserted island? What was the question? Who would I want to be stuck with on a deserted island? Oh, it's a fair one, Katie. Seriously, Lindsay. Okay, delete the G-A-N. You! You're supposed to say me, M-E, for you, Lindsay. I would want to be stuck with you on a deserted island. And that's why it's fair, Katie, because you could have just said Linny G. Because if we were on a deserted island, I know that you wouldn't collapse in panic and anxiety. And Meg knows how much I love her. And she also knows that I would have to handle everything, and I don't want to do that. Exactly. And I know that we drink coconut water from the coconuts. What? No fair. What did he ruin? What were you gonna eat? You gonna eat the leftovers without me? Okay. I want sushi. Way too much salt on the turkey loin. And you're welcome, Lindsay, for sushi. Yeah. Now, Lindsay, I have one more question. We asked, who would you want to be stuck with on a deserted island? Who do you think I'd want to be stuck with on a desert island? Sprinkled salt when you weren't looking. But who would I want to be stuck with on a desert island? Why are you so stupid? Oh. What if on this desert island, since this is a hypothetical, hypothetically, I could have dairy substances? Oh my gosh. No, you don't. We're going to figure it out. There we go. Me next. Me next. I would love to not have issues with milk. All right, you guys. Dinner's ready. I wish it were sushi, but it's not. So I'm going to log off. But I'll be back on tomorrow. This girl would like to be alone. I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. Boop. All right. Bye, ladies. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. It was good talking to you, too. Yes, text me, and I will hopefully get to it later this evening. All right. Bye.